Shamika says, what about protecting yourself from burnout? Great question. I'm actually going to do a video this week on burnout. Sometimes I feel like I pour myself out to the people I care about to the point to where I get overwhelmed or overstimulated. She says, I work in a career that requires me to transfer a lot of my energy, mental, physical, and emotional energy. So I feel pulled from a lot of different directions. My sister, I understand. Here's the value that I'm going to give you. You must determine how much of your value you distribute. Now you got to start asking yourself, is this a seasonal thing with the company I'm in? Is this a seasonal thing in my aspirations? Where in my life am I not balanced? Where in my life do I not have boundaries? Where in my life have I yet to bend my knee in prayer about, to ask God how to properly distribute my energy? And so when you begin to pour yourself out, then you got to assess how much you pour and ask yourself if they're too poor for you to pour. Some people are too poor for you to pour. They're too poorly constructed, meaning they have holes in them, that no matter how much you pour in them, there's waste. You have to start delegating your pouring in areas of reciprocity. What do you get, right? Fulfillment is a revolving thing. Whatever I feel makes me full. That's fulfillment. I'm only supposed to feel what I'm meant to feel. So you're full. There's three parts in fulfillment. Fulfillment. You are full enough to only feel what you was meant to feel. Let me say it again. God only brings you up to a level of fullness to feel what you was meant to feel. Now you have to ask yourself, what am I feeling that was not God's design or what he meant for me to feel? A lot of us are feeling areas that God never gave us clearance for. It looked good, it sounded good, and all that good stuff, but it wasn't what God wanted us to do. And we start overly committing, we start pouring out, and we have to ask ourselves, what is my motive for my pour? Am I too poor to pour? Meaning, what is it? Do I need external validation? Do I have a people-pleasingness about myself? Do I have a Jesus complex about myself? Do I have a perfectionistic ideology about myself? What about me have I yet to have God to patch up that's making me too poor to pour? Because every time I pour, I stay poor. When you pour, you're supposed to be richly supplied, whether by God graciously filling your cup because you did something on behalf of him, or the thing you're feeling naturally fills you up with joy. So what I want you to do, my friends, write on a sheet of paper everything that you are committed to, every person that you're committed to. And I want you to write on a sheet of paper 100% at the top. And then I want you to begin to determine how much of that 100%, or if you feel like you're in burnout, which you already said, then put 120%. Ask yourself, out of that 120% of the energy that you give that's leading to burnout, how much of that percentage is each individual and each thing is giving? Ask yourself, is this a seasonal thing, or is this a quote unquote eternal thing? Like is this something that I'm going to have? For instance, for my life, I have to ask myself, how much of me, percentage-wise, does my wife get on average? So what happens is, on my job, when I begin to realize, Josh, you can't fit 6 kids of counseling in one day. That's going to naturally drain your energy, and you're not going to have any energy at home. So what I start doing, begin to filter out these requests. I begin to ask my heart, consult my heart, audit my heart, and ask myself, Josh, is your heart too big? And I begin to realize, God help me to realize that, Josh, you can't solve fatherlessness. Fatherlessness will drain you till you're out of here. If you try to be a father, or you try to give father-like tendencies, and if you always trying to be who you can't be in the full capacity, then you can't. When you got 20, 30 something kids looking to you in that regard, and you always making time for everyone, then you're not going to be able to have time for the right ones. So what I start doing is, if you're just talking about stuff that ain't really got stuff to do with what requires my time right now, I filter them out so that I can have more energy. So that when I come home, it's not just me giving my wife -20. So what you got to do is write 120, because you're burnt out. Put 120 and ask yourself, how much energy does each of these things get? Then ask yourself, how much of these things add when I pour? Which one of these are broken vessels that every time I pour into this person, it gets drained? And you have to learn how to be detached. Some people got to say, you know what? I've outgrown you. That I can't pour into you anymore because you're too poor for me to pour. So 120, then ask yourself, what is causing you to be in burnout? And then over time, you'll begin to see that 120 get down to 100. And then you'll begin to see that 100 turn into 85. Because then that 15% of excessive energy is surplus. And then you can reinvest that energy back into yourself, whether it's courses, whether it's whatever improvements that you need to make to add more vitality, because you never want to be on E and you never want to be burnt out, because it doesn't matter how beautiful the car is. If it's out of gas, it won't drive. Gotta go. Love you all. Check out my books. Don't have time to go through them all. Links in the description box below. I always got time. Multi-Purpose Book is a book for people who want to better understand their multiple purposes. Great book, great resource for those who are resonant with this video. If you're struggling with soul ties and strongholds and it's keeping you from holding your family together, and your family is falling apart because of what fell apart with your ex and you still got attachments to them, this book is for you. If you're in a situation right now where you're pursuing someone or something and you're not quite sure it's God's best, this book will help you properly test. And this book is called Counterfeit or Counterpart. If you're struggling with your feelings is getting in the way of you fulfilling your role as a husband or a wife or a parent, and your feelings is causing toxicity and troubles and drama and stuff in your home, then this book, Facts About Feelings, is for you, my friend. If you want to learn how to hold your family well and be strong and hold them, this book, Holding Strong, be a great resource for you. Also, card game that is fun, man. It's a great card game. If you're a person that's a single entrepreneur or a single individual, you want to make sure that you're maximizing your singleness enough to make sure that your family doesn't have to compete, then this book's a great book for you. Dating Prep is a great book right here to help you ask certain people the right questions. There's a lot of women who regret marrying that ambitious man. There's a lot of men who regret marrying this ambitious woman, but they didn't have the right questions. They didn't ask the right questions. And so this book right here will help you ask the right questions. And if you are already married and you guys are just in the turbulence of marriage, these are great questions for you to build your marriage as a corporation. And if you're single, this is a great book for you to make sure that you have your non-negotiables ready. If you want your children to start their art early, find a purpose early, then this book, as he says, will be a great book for them. And if you're struggling with spiritual warfare and you want to better understand the whole armor of God, this book, World War Me, will be a great book for you. We also have merch, all that good stuff on our website. Love y'all. Y'all be blessed. We got one invaluable. God bless you. So welcome, my sister. I'm going to chop this video out for you so you can have it. I think the answer is going to bless a lot of people. Love y'all. Got to go.